Hi, welcome back to Two Dudes Drinking Beer. I'm Alec,
I'm Josh.
and we are Two Dudes Drinking Beer.
So this is one of the only podcasts where you can watch two dudes hopefully figure out problems they've had going on for the past it's only been 2 weeks, but it seems like literally forever.
So grab a beer and hang out with us. as Josh roasts me 2 seconds into the podcast.
It's not just
and
you,
sets
man.
a poor example, because every time I shoot for the basket, you're like, "Don't do that. You're gonna leave a mess in my room." And the first thing you do is yeet it across the room. One day we will make that.
This is supposed to be a celebratory day, okay?
Why is it a celebratory day?
Because we may figure this shit out, okay?
I think we did. I really think we did. We tested it on a movie, and apparently we're very adequate.
To pirate.
Yeah, we're very good at pirating.
I've already known I've been
And the
good at
neighbor
that.
behind me just now decided to start drilling. So if you're hearing that in the recording, I'm sorry. I closed the window. Everything should be good, though. I know.
We could just replace the window with like wooden boards.
Can we? I'm starting to warm up to the idea very quickly. Hey, shut the fuck up!
Can you wait like an hour?
Seriously. So how was your weekend, bitch?
Ooh.
Beat you to it.
Beat me to it. I was gonna say today's Monday.
My dudes.
So,
we just half-ass that every time. I love it. That's never gonna get any better.
Because why not? First of all, let's do this.
Cheers. Today we're drinking Pacifico.
Pacifico, a cerveza from down south. Really good. So my weekend wasn't too bad. It was my first work week back. So my legs were super tired. And like
On the HVAC? What's it called? The hover assist vehicle?
the wave, the work assist vehicle.
The WAV.
I used the stacker when I wasn't supposed to.
You call them stackers?
It's like an electric pallet jack, but it has like a forklift built in.
Nice.
It's the Crown stacker
Nice.
because you stack pallets with it. But I didn't like use the stacker function. I just used the pallet jack function. So that was cool. But yeah, I mean, it was just working. I'm not busy again, but I'm staying like active.
Staying busy,
Yeah.
as the phrase would have it.
Yeah. I'm doing stuff now.
Good, man.
Back at work. How was your weekend?
I thought today was Wednesday, to be completely honest. So you know how my weekend's been. I have not been sleeping very well. I've been going to bed at like 5 in the morning and waking up at 2 in the afternoon. My system is apparently your system now, where it's all fucked up. I can't sleep.
Yeah, except it only took me 4 days to fix it. So
Yeah, I'm hating it. The last 3 or 4 days, I've been getting dick for sleep, and not a good night's sleep at that. So I'm just trying to readjust and find something that's maintainable at this point.
have you thought about taking melatonin?
I have not.
You should try it. 15 milligrams will put you on your ass.
Would it really?
Yeah.
Is it like a drug, or
It's a sleep aid.
is it like? But melatonin.
It's the active ingredient in NyQuil that helps you sleep.
Really?
Yeah.
Isn't melatonin also just something your brain produces naturally?
Yes. It's
So
a supplement.
So it's just basically like a thing your body knows what to do with.
Yeah, it's basically a vitamin supplement.
Nice.
You can get it in pill form or as a liquid.
Maybe we should go back to the pharmacy. And,
See, what you
pick
do
some up.
is you buy some melatonin and you buy 5-hour energies.
and you snort one and then inject the other.
You take a whole bunch of melatonin and then drink a whole bunch of 5-hour energies and try to fight it. See how long you can last.
I think those would just cancel each other out, right? I don't think 5-hour energy would be the move, though. I mean, there's got to be something better. I don't know how.
You're right. Cocaine.
I was gonna say, yeah. I don't know how effective 5-hour energy is. I used it one time and I just got a rash.
I drank it and it tasted like just powder.
It
and
tastes like
gross.
shit, and I just got a
It
rash,
was
and my
fucking
skin turned red.
disgusting.
And it was like, "Do not use if it turns your skin red." I was like, "Dope. Okay, well, I guess I won't do that again."
At least they put a warning on it.
I guess, but at the end of the day, what's a warning anyway?
I mean, it's there for a reason. You always see. Way to go. You always see like those like danger or warning signs that say don't feed the fish, and you always have they always do that because one person did it and got hurt.
It took one jackass.
It took one person to ruin it for everyone, and so there's kind of funny ones. I mean, I don't know off the top of my head because like I've seen them a while ago, but it's like, what did this person do?
It's that meme where you see that the guy be like, "What the hell happened here?"
Yeah,
Paul Rudd.
Like how did someone possibly get
Who
hurt?
fucked this up this bad to where everyone needs a sign now? Oh, I'll keep talking while Josh.
We can drink at the same time.
All right. Well,
that's a cue for everyone else to drink.
Yeah. Some people don't understand the point of this podcast is for you to sit down and have a beer with us. So.
Or just listen.
Yeah. Especially if you're at work, have a beer with us. You earned it.
Yeah. On your lunch break.
Tell your manager I said so.
Go on your lunch break. Go in the bathroom. Chug one out.
Just chug one out. That sounds like a fucking. Just rub one out real quick.
Nah, chug one out.
Chug one, rub one, and get back to work. Finish your day off.
Yep.
Yeah, so hopefully this video, we ran a test earlier, syncing the audio and the video. It turns out, basically...
We don't know for sure yet.
We don't know for sure, but we will find out after this video.
Our sample size was 35 minutes.
Which is about where it starts to get shaky.
And our long form is...
But that was the first time the computer synced it up by itself, right? Usually it doesn't?
No, it did it before.
Oh, really?
And even when it was in sync, it didn't do it sometimes.
Oh,
it's just easier for me to do it by hand.
I mean, however you want to do it. I'm just saying, we ran the test, and that's how we found out we're good at piracy. We could just literally record the TV and then record the audio from the speakers, and it turns out pretty good if we ever want to break into that realm of piracy.
Well, you can take the output from the speakers, plug it back into the mixer, and send that to your computer.
That's what I would do if we were like doing it like officially for sure.
That's what my when I took audio production at Moorpark, that's what my fucking professor, I forgot his name, but I don't like him.
Nice. Professor Dickhead.
I think his name was Jason.
Dick.
Yeah, he said just if you ever want to record a song on the radio, this was like for like speaking back in the day. Like, oh, it's hard to get this song.
That was a big thing too. A lot of like cassettes and tape players, they let you record live straight from the radio. So that's why people would like make mixtapes. And that's why mixtapes were such a big thing is
you mean they didn't cut the tape together?
Not at a consumer level. But that's what one of my teachers, professor rather, because once you're in college you have to call them professors.
You don't have to.
You should.
You don't have to.
And he said that he remembers making his first mixtape for his girlfriend, who is now his wife. And he's like, I stayed on the radio all day and just waited for this song. And I called in and kept requesting it. And I finally got to record it. And then you record it, and then he's like actually going through making this mixtape. It took a lot of effort to get a mixtape written. And then he's like, now you just got to burn it onto a CD. And I was like, yeah, well, you can even just send files now through like...
Kids these days just make playlists.
Well, yeah, I mean, but it's the same thing. I mean, look, man, if it's music that affects you, like, however it affects you, like, and you're trying to share it, that's the point, you know? That's why people are doing it.
But it's not the same amount of heart and or soul put into it.
Definitely. I got to disagree with that.
Here's a playlist I made in 15 seconds.
It's definitely not the same amount of work, but who are we to say that they don't have a huge emotional connection to that music?
Whack.
I don't know, man. And I think it would even be better to highlight the fact that music is still shared, and the fact that it can be shared even faster only emphasizes the importance of music in like human interactions and the need to share the art.
I mean, I guess.
I'm just saying that's how I take it. I think it's not a matter of how much work you put into it. It's a matter of people love music so much, they worked so hard to get iTunes and Spotify and all these things to have the capability to share these playlists. And that's what is the evolution, not necessarily like, oh, they don't have to work too hard to put it on tape now. It's just, oh, it's super easy to share because that's what people like doing.
Cool. For sure.
All right. Well, thanks for nothing. It's like talking to a fucking wall.
It's because you talk too much.
All right. Well, okay. You're like the human equivalent conversation of getting a let in tennis. You know what that is?
No, what does that
It's
mean?
when you serve the ball and it hits the net.
Okay.
That's what that was. I volleyed it, and you're just like,
I'm also trying. I'm also
Cool.
trying to set up with the notes and how to flow on this, and the segue is going to be real rough.
don't. Okay, well, now that you mention it, just be like,
Hey, what's your
just when I come to a full stop, be like, you know what I was thinking about, and then mention the first note.
what's your favorite first note?
Just ask me the goddamn
I
question.
thought you were still talking about music. I was like,
Nope.
no, that's not a note. Do you have like your favorite? It's not nonfiction because it's still television, but like, hold on, let me formulate this thought real quick. Just because
Clearly it'll lose you.
it's television doesn't mean it's not nonfiction. TV can be nonfiction because it can be real, but most of it's fake. Okay, what's your
I
favorite?
talk too much, and you just had to run through the whole definition of fiction and nonfiction on yourself real quick?
Yes,
Okay.
it helps me to think out loud.
No shit.
What is your favorite, let's just say realistic TV show to watch?
My favorite realistic TV show to watch. That immediately excludes cartoons, right? Because I love
that's
cartoons.
not realistic. Like a true crime series or like Judge Judy.
Oh, I mean, definitely Family Feud, just like as like daytime TV, or like
Yeah,
just
just
anything.
anything.
Or like, could it be like one of those things like, oh, it could be possible, but it's just like,
Yeah.
it's still nonfiction. I mean, it's still fiction.
Yeah, just like real people.
I mean, I think my most favorite would have to be Scrubs or Community. Those are definitely my two favorite TV shows. That are live action and
Pretty real.
the most realistic.
For sure. Because at work a lot of the time, we only watch like 2 TV shows in our break room.
Mm-hmm.
It's either Driners, Dives, and Dives,
You just say 3D.
Triple D.
No, just 3D.
That's not what he calls it.
That's not. Nope.
So we
You don't
either
want to give it to him. Don't give him the pride.
we either watch a Guy Fieri show
Nice.
or Law and Order.
Setting the standards high in Target.
Yeah.
Law and Order is pretty cool. Is that the courtroom or the?
It's everything. Have you not seen Law and Order?
Nope.
So Law and Order is basically a crime happened, the detectives figure out what happens, and then they go into the courtroom where the attorneys, the DA prosecutes it.
In real life, though.
Well, it's not real. It's like
Oh, but okay. Got
it's
it.
like fiction.
I thought it was like Judge Judy-ish. It was like
No, it's
you know,
fictional stories.
It's like 48 hours, and then like also the courtroom.
It's fictional stories, but it's done in a realistic process.
Gotcha.
And I actually was watching it on my lunch break one day, and I heard something.
Hey, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, hey, that's pretty cool. I heard something super interesting, and it was they were talking like, oh, like this murder followed the same pattern as this one, it had the same MO, and they were like, it's a lot of coincidences. And then the other dude said, well, you know what they say, 3 coincidences, and that's a conspiracy. So I was like, yeah, shit, like. Is that fucking like?
Does that mean we
actually a
need 2
thing?
more 9/11s before it's a certified conspiracy?
Well, I think there's a lot of coincidences behind.
Is it
9/11.
coincidi?
I wouldn't think into that. Oh, just coincidences.
Coinkydinks.
Yeah, coinkydinks.
As
How many?
everyone's mom and dad said it growing up.
How many coinkydinks?
What a coinkydink.
Like what a coincidence that the security cameras didn't work outside of Jeffrey Epstein's cell. Oh no.
Yeah. There's someone actually who just also got arrested too. Some lady
His friend.
who was apparently helping him, and they're like, apparently they're like, yo, we're gonna watch her. It's not gonna be through the government, okay? So like, I guess some like,
Reddit.
I guess some third party like security company is in charge of like making sure she doesn't hang herself, you know, quote unquote. So.
But no,
That's pretty fun.
I heard that little factoid. I don't even know if it's like real or not. But like, what classifies something as a conspiracy? Oh, you have 3 coincidences.
Well, I think what I understand a conspiracy is if it's the same thing as like speech, right? This guy's really jacking it out there.
Yeah. You're gonna strip your screws, bro.
Yeah, no kidding. So in my speech class, they were saying that we create words that we like, right? Like society, you could judge a society based on what it has the most names of something. And my teacher was like, for example, money. Give me everything you could think about that is money. And people were like cash, credit, scratch, cheese, Skrilla.
So slang included.
Yeah, slang included. Everything that revolves around that one thing, the culture. That's how much the culture needs it, or revolves around it, or needs it to exist. And there was talk of like it was like it was an Eminem song. Eminem has that song Stan, right? And basically it's about a crazed fan who...
He started it.
Yeah, exactly. It's a crazed fan who is so obsessed with an artist, they go to extremes of hurting themselves or others in order to see that artist.
And that's why they call them stans.
And that's why they call them stans. But she said that it was introduced in the dictionary because it needs to have a general understanding. So you should be able to go to any state in the country and say, I'm a stan of Kesha. And everyone's like, wow, I know what that means. And they also added like LOL and like some texting slang, like raffle.
Yeah.
The same way we have okay, it becomes actual.
It becomes less of slang at that point.
Yeah, it becomes actual.
Although
words.
I haven't seen raffle used in like 6 years.
My point being is that I think a conspiracy would have to have the same qualifications of you should be able to go to anywhere, at least in the country, and depending on the country you're in about conspiracies. We could definitely go to like Oklahoma and be like,
okay,
9/11 was an inside job, and people would be like, oh, you're a conspiracy theorist.
Hell yeah,
brother. Or we could go to New York and be like, 9/11 was an inside job, and be like, get the fuck out of New York.
Too soon.
Yeah. So I think it's just a matter of that. It's like, it depends on how much traction it has and how much validity, I suppose. Is like, can people recognize? Is it easily recognizable, and does enough people acknowledge it?
Well, according to Law and Order Criminal Intent, it only takes 3 coincidences before you have a conspiracy. That's my seal of approval.
All right. Well,
thank you, Law and Order Criminal
But
Intent.
how do you have 3 coincidences in a murder? That's not a conspiracy. It's just a murder. A conspiracy is
you
saying...
can conspire to commit murder. See, that's... So there are conspiracy theories, sure. But, like, I mean, I feel like that's taking, like, the actual definition of a conspiracy.
Yeah.
And kind of almost changing it to fit... it's using the way words
It's using
change.
one of the few definitions that it could
It's using how
be.
words change over time.
Yeah.
To have it fit a certain just kind
criteria.
Of framework, yeah. So I mean,
You are probably right.
A conspiracy is really just something like that people think about to do something.
Yeah, like it's but aliens are a conspiracy, right? So it's like you could say like aliens are real, and everyone goes, "There's been more than 3 instances of aliens."
Yeah, 3 coincidences, sure.
So that's, yeah. I mean, maybe. But it definitely would have... I mean, I think it's going to be one of those things like in conjuncture with the 3 coincidences. I mean, how many... You saw the Pentagon release the official UFO...
Yeah, we talked about it.
How many coincidences were in there? Was it 3 aerial phenomena?
It's just 3 minimum.
It might have been 3. That's what I'm saying, though. It's like maybe even... That's how the government recognizes a conspiracy.
They're like, fuck it, what are we at now?
They're like, well, that's 3.
15? Oh, shit.
They're like, that's 5 times the limit.
Fuck, release it.
Release it, we have to. Yeah, I mean, that could very well be the conspiracy.
Shit, we're late.
Speaking of conspiracies, it makes me kind of think of like, I've had this conspiracy. I know I got a lot of conspiracies, but...
Yeah, you do.
I got this one in my head lately about doctors, and I was like, yo... Like, I started thinking about, like, the statistics and all that.
What about doctors, man? Lay it on me.
And I was like, so let's say you go to a doctor.
Okay.
and your doctor is like, "Do
What
you
do I
have
have?
gout?"
I don't have gout. But for sake of argument, yeah, I have gout.
You have gout. And the doctors are like, "Yo, we can give you this pill and it will cure your gout."
Sweet.
Like
I'll
that.
take it.
And you take
Please.
it and you die of an allergic reaction.
It hurts.
It hurts. And you die of an allergic reaction. Does the doctor say he died from an allergic reaction, or does the doctor say, "I killed my patient"?
It depends on the intent. It would definitely get investigated.
Because they did kill their patient.
Yes, but if it's intentional, then it's
Yeah.
murder. But if it's not, then it's malpractice.
Yeah. So I was just thinking of like,
Ideally, your doctor would know if you're allergic to anything because they ask you if you're allergic to anything. And
if
if they're not sure, they conduct tests.
Mm-hmm. So, but if
No doctor would just give you something out of the fucking blue and be like, "Here you go, take this.
I mean, I've definitely had
Report back."
doctors be like, "Are you allergic to this?" And I was like, "I don't know, not that I know of." And they'll be like, "Okay, well, I'm gonna give you an inhaler. If you get a rash,
Ask questions, man.
don't use it."
If it affects
Well, it's
you in a
probably not-
negative way, it's on you.
Well, it's probably not going to be like a deadly allergic reaction if they're willing to give it to you.
You're
But I'm
not going
just
to go
saying,
into anaphylactic shock.
yeah, I'm just saying, like, like in a black and white world, it's going to be like, "I gave you this thing, you took this thing, you died."
It's not the doctor's fault. It's your fault.
Okay, but then, I mean, couldn't you also have the same argument for every drug dealer ever? Every drug user ever?
It's a bit different.
Is it though?
Yeah, because the same negative effects come with every
I'm just talking about
market drug.
I'm talking about the principle of it though, right? So, if there was someone who gave you,
Yeah, it's bad to be a drug dealer, sure.
which is what doctors are.
They're not just drug dealers, they're healers.
Are they?
Yes.
Shamans were healers.
Yeah, that was eat a leaf and feel better. Don't? Okay.
Fun facts
now you
though.
got poison ivy on your tongue.
Fun facts though, those shamans and all those healers,
Witch doctors.
they were onto something, man. They found acetaminophen, which is just basically Advil.
Tylenol.
Tylenol these days. Like,
Ibuprofen is Advil.
whatever it is, they found that plant and they're just like, "Yeah, let's chew on this, you feel better." And it actually works. They've actually figured out the remedies, which is kind of why weed was like a thing too. Like they had the ceremonial peace pipe.
Those are Indians.
Did I not say Indians?
You said shamans.
Don't shamans have Indians? Don't Indians have shamans?
Nope.
Don't they need each other to coexist?
No. Shaman's more like a traditionally African tribe thing, like, and South American.
Damn.
And like the Amazon.
Well, you know what I mean. Every tribe had their
Yes,
own.
Amazon is in South America.
Every tribe had their own healer or their doctor or some sort, and it was always like, "Nibble on these leaves; they make you feel better." And like without knowing why, it was just
fucking cocaine.
it was
leaves.
just cocaine or acetaminophen or marijuana. And they're like, "Okay, you could also smoke it and see some wild animals running in the
See
sky."
some demons.
Yeah, depending on that'd be crazy. Could you imagine like? Do you think weed's popular in Native American reservations?
No, but meth is.
I think I just unturned a stone. Why? What?
I don't know, but they do a lot of like meth and or heroin.
Really?
Native American reservations are fucked. Well, first of all, like the fucking history behind them is fucked too.
I just heard that they got a huge settlement of land.
I mean, I don't know. I haven't paid attention too much to their news, but I know like
It was just on Twitter.
if you live like on reservation, like it's super poor. It's basically just fucking shit, and it just sucks. So all they do is just drugs.
Why don't you? Okay, so I guess staying in line with the conspiracies idea, I thought too, like, it's kind of fucked up how they like kind of herd them into like I guess like a specific zone. It's basically segregation. And I was thinking, I was like, yo, isn't that crazy? Like, and also though, like, why not just like leave? Like, if you live on the Indian reservation, can you just leave and like?
Because then your tribe doesn't like you.
Yeah, I get that, but hear me out. Like, you could like essentially make it out of the hood in that context where it's like, yo, I know my tribe doesn't like me, but I graduated UCLA top of my class. Now I'm a doctor, and then you can
Yeah, but you don't really have the money to pay for it, so you either get a lot of debt, and the banks will probably give you higher interest rates and lower loans because of your nationality / color of your skin, because that's a thing.
But I mean, I want to hear a success story where someone does that. Like, is there someone out there?
Off the top of my head, no. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I'm sure there's successful African Americans, there's successful Indian Americans, Asian Americans, like everything under the sun. There's been successful stories of them. But I mean, I don't know.
It was just a thought I had. I was like, yo, because like, it's weird because like I get it, you have the reservation, but also shouldn't you also not put your eggs in that one basket and be like, yo, let's send some people out and like, let's take our most academically gifted people and let's give them a scholarship. Let's fund them a scholarship, from our community.
When the schools on reservation aren't even that good to begin with, because they have very little money to afford anything.
I think my point is that like
that's like playing on super hard mode.
Yeah. I'm not saying it's not super hard. I'm just saying
So, like why aren't you successful?
I just blame my parents.
If you can do this, that, and the other thing and become successful,
yeah,
why don't you do it? It's not that easy, huh?
Yeah, that's a good point.
There you go. If you think someone else can do it, why can't you do it?
I don't live in an Indian tribe. I don't live on a reservation.
So you are already exposed to a better circumstance. And you're telling me you can't do it.
Okay, I think the point I'm trying to make, though, is that you said I'm exposed to a better circumstance. And I'm saying they could leave the reservation and expose themselves to better circumstances. Why not do it?
Because they have significantly less opportunity than you based on their color of their skin, I say nationality because, I mean, when you fill out your fucking ethnicity, there's Native American or indigenous people. And you're already put into a lower sort
box
of bracket because they don't make shit for money.
Mm-hmm.
All they have, like their quote unquote claim to fame, is casinos and tobacco.
Yeah. I don't know, man. It's just one of those things that I think about. Like, I don't know.
If you really wanted to change the world, start there. Or at least change America.
Well, like I said,
that'd be a really good place to start.
With Native Americans?
Yeah.
I think so, too. But like I said, I just saw them get granted a bunch of land.
Yeah, that also means a whole lot of nothing, because you remember that fucking pipeline going through...
Yeah, going through the reservation.
Carolinas, I believe.
One of them.
Something. Those are the ones over on the east or in the north. Probably, I think it was the Dakotas.
Probably the Dakotas.
That's the north-south ones.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was like 2017.
Yeah, it's actually, I heard that actually they won the initial debate, and then the government was like, we're gonna go through it anyway. And then apparently some lawyer stepped up and was like, we demand basically to go to the Supreme Court and revise like the morality of this.
Well, tough shit. The pipeline still got built.
It did, but it's turned off right now as it's under review. And then they're going to see, what course of action to go from there. Like, did we do the right thing by building it through this land, and was it, legal, basically?
No and no.
Yeah. But it's like it's the first time it's been reviewed. Going to review.
Progress. Baby steps.
Yeah.
Do you know what, like... So they always say you can't be racist to white people, right?
I mean, I think you can be, but go ahead.
You can, but people say, like, oh, that's not a thing. It's like when they say, like, oh, a man got raped.
It's reverse racism.
Nah.
Men don't get raped.
Push her off. It's a gray area. It's not even a gray area. Just, you're wrong. It can happen. So, like, you know how everyone gets mad when people do blackface?
Yes.
Why didn't anyone get mad at the Wayans brothers when they did whiteface and White Chicks? As two black men portraying white women. Granted, that movie is fucking hilarious.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think the I think the staple there is that it's really funny. So it's like you can't be mad. You can't be offended if you're laughing.
What if the blackface clips are really funny too? What's the
Then
problem
you're
there?
racist for laughing at it.
So are we not racist for laughing at whiteface?
It's a double standard, really, because it's one of those things where like you cannot. You're basically shitting on a people who are less than, and that's the weird thing too. Like, because when you say that, it almost does kind of. It's like when Dave Chappelle starts telling jokes about transgendered people, right? They're like, "Why do you shit on us like we're less than?" And he's like, "I'm not saying it like you're less than. I'm saying it like it's funny. And I say jokes about white people, black people, all people, and that's what makes it normal." And then one of his fans who was transgender came up to him and being like, "Thanks for normalizing it, because essentially that's what you're doing." Because if we sat here and we said that White Chicks is hilarious,
It is.
it is funny. But if we sat here and said that a menstrual show was funny, we'd be racist. Because it, in principle, started in menstrual shows mocking African Americans.
What the fuck is a minstrel show?
It's where people would... It's like a theater show where people would dress up as black people in blackface and play out a skit as if they were black people.
Gotcha. Never heard of that until just now.
It started there as entertainment for white people making fun of... Yeah, the aristocrats making fun of blacks in America. So that's where it comes from. Present day, I think it is different because Robert Downey Jr. goes into blackface in Tropic Thunder. And the whole idea of it is it's a character with his head so far up his ass, he can't realize that he's not actually a white guy in black makeup.
A white dude playing an Australian, playing a black dude.
Yeah. So and that's the weird thing too. Like I said, it's such a tricky area because it's a fucking minefield is what it is.
An actor playing a character who is playing a character.
Mm-hmm. And basically, if black people say, "Shut up," it's a minefield, bro.
No, I'm laughing at the fucking movie. It's so funny.
It's a good movie. Which is probably why
He
Robert
does
Downey
it
Jr.
so well.
Which is probably why Robert Downey Jr. hasn't been canceled from Iron Man or anything popular. It's one of those things where everyone liked it so much to where it's like,
and he did it so well.
We'll give you a pass,
Yeah, I mean, it's just probably one of those things.
But I think the black community sees it, and I'm a white guy. I'm not saying what black people want or what they want to hear. I totally understand.
We don't speak for you.
I totally understand that argument. I'm not here to be.
This is just the two dudes.
This is just the two dudes drinking beer podcast thinking out loud because this was not scripted at all. None of this is. My last one was about the doctors, and that's where we.
Well, this was a note I actually had.
Oh, fucking cheery.
Yep.
It's just, it's weird because I think it's got some negative stereotypes that reaffirm itself. If you say it makes fun of people who are less than, because I think it makes people say they are less than and they are not less than. It is from a time where they were treated as less than, and there is an aura of negativity around it still. And if someone says it upsets them, I get that it upsets them.
Good for you, snowflake.
Yeah, like I said, White Chicks is a hilarious movie, but I've never seen, aside from Tropic Thunder, I've never seen a movie where two white guys dress up as black, because it'd also be two white guys dressing up as black girls, So
yeah, that wouldn't make it past any producer today.
Yeah, but even so, it's like, do you think that movie could be so funny that the black community?
I feel
just
like
is
if it was on like BET or like if fucking Tyler Perry did it.
I was gonna say if it had like the right producer or right director or something, I think it's passable.
Then it would
but
be clearly taken as a joke and should
Mhm.
not be offensive in any way.
But that's the thing though. It's not that it shouldn't be offensive in any way. It's someone's gonna be offended by it regardless.
Everyone's gonna be offended by everything.
Yeah, exactly.
Because fuck people.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like people are gonna feel how they're gonna feel about it.
Like
I'm just asking, is there some way you could do it so well that even those people who get offended by it are like, you know what, it is offensive, but I understand the art, or I understand the message, or I understand where this director is coming from, to where it's like not worth canceling or not worth getting it out of the theater or just banning. Because here's the thing. I've thought about this too for a little bit. There was a scene, Ryan told me this. There was a TV show, it's Community. There was a show, an episode rather, where Ken Jeong dresses up in blackface. He's like, it's the Warcraft one, and he's like a troll, but his face is all in black paint.
I don't remember that.
But basically they removed it because it pissed a lot of people off.
That makes sense.
And
He's Asian though. It doesn't fucking matter.
sure. And this is where I'm coming in to say this. It's like, it feels like a book burning to a point, right? Because at some point, you're literally getting rid of something that happened that offended you. Wouldn't it be better to say, look, this thing happened, learn from it, and if it's there, you can reference it. You could still buy Mein Kampf.
Yeah.
You could still buy books on Stalinism and what's the other guy? Marxism.
Karl Marx.
Karl Marx. You can still buy those books. They're both books of ideologies.
Communist Manifesto.
They're both books of ideologies. They're not burnt, but when you start deleting,
Start rereading history.
yeah, you really are. You're really saying, look, this offends people. Take it down. This book isn't good. This movie isn't good. This TV show is offensive, and I don't think you should do that. I think you should let offensive art exist. Offensive art should exist, whether it's a TV show or painting.
It's thought provoking.
It is, and I mean, it sucks, but it's better than book burnings. You can't host a book burning because that historically was way worse than what a TV show made someone feel like.
Yeah. I agree.
As white men,
and
we're sorry. Just throwing that out there.
I don't know.
We're wrong. We know.
We've been wrong for 300 years.
That's just how I feel about it.
There's nothing we can possibly say to make up for anything that our
It wasn't
ancestors
my
did.
idea.
Turns out I'm Jewish.
Never was my
Who
idea.
knew? I am X% Jewish.
I just drove to the store
and Italian.
for some preparation. It's Ben Folds, motherfucker.
Okay, yeah, I know. Figured. Because my brother did a 23andMe, and he is Jewish and Italian. And
Really?
Whatever else. Yeah, so I guess...
You're part Jewish?
Jewish?
You're part juice? You're 12% juice?
This is a very offensive joke coming right now. Disclaimer.
Trigger warning.
I have become the main thing I've sworn to defeat. That's a joke.
Oh my god.
Cancel culture. Come at me. I'll fight you off with my bare hands.
Hi, this is one dude drinking beer.
That's okay. I have replacements. We have replacements lined out for both of us.
Yeah, we are.
This show is...
We are ready. We're Mythbusters Season 20 with a friendly range of hosts.
Yeah. But no, that's just something that's happened recently.
Well, that's cool, man.
Yeah.
That
Our family's Jewish. I mean, it makes sense because the Oberzet side is Polish.
I thought it was German.
No, that's what I thought too, but it's Polish. And a lot of Poles are Jews. So, I mean, like, it makes sense. But the Italian, I don't know. The Mexican, who knows? I believe so.
Well, the Mexican's just from your mom's side, right? That's like more recent.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Eventually, we will all be... You know what? I wonder if there's... You know how you show me those like stats for like rolling dice, where you could roll dice so many amount of times, but like it'll if you roll 2 dice, it'll typically be around 7.
Yeah, it'll be a 4 and a 3.
It'll typically be those things.
Yeah, a 6, a 7, or an 8.
And you know how there's that graph to where it's like it could start off wonky, but it always kind of conforms to.
Mhm.
I wonder after so many years.
The bell curve.
I wonder after so many years of people creating offspring and
So
breeding.
are you saying the world is going to make everyone Jewish?
Yeah, I'm saying, like, what do you think will eventually be the overall remaining, like...
Yo, that's a fucking conspiracy in itself.
I want to see that graph. That'd be fucking dope. You know what I'm saying, though, right? Like, which one would it be?
Well...
It's like German. Oh, well, he did something right.
He's fucking rolling in his grave right now. He's happy.
But then it's like Jewish, and he's a little upset again.
Yeah. Well, do you know what the fastest growing religion in the United States is?
No.
It's Muslim. That is the fastest...
I did hear that, actually.
That's the fastest growing
Yeah.
religion in the United States, is being converting to Muslim.
Yeah,
or
I did hear
Islam, rather.
Yeah.
Just people, I guess, like it more than Christianity or...
I would have said Buddhism. I know a lot of people who are
Catholicism.
going to Buddhist.
We just know a lot of people who are 26
We just
and
know a
had
lot of
shit
people-
lives.
yeah.
It's like,
I'm Buddhist.
I live in the trees.
Yeah. That's true. We do know a lot of... I guess we just do know a lot of Buddhists.
So,
But-
I mean, I guess it's better than Christianity, Catholicism, and Judaism.
Yeah, man. I mean, religion for me is still one of those things where it's like, it's great, whatever. It's just...
Good for you.
Yeah. I mean,
You do you.
it's the same...
Don't try to push it onto me.
Mm-hmm. It's the same thing as everything else. Like people who are transgendered or people who are black or Mexican or whatever it is. And if it's like, that's fine, you do you. But like the second it becomes like my problem or I'm the problem, it's just like, I don't see it. I don't see how it is.
I mean, I don't know. People are super opinionated, so it's very hard to avoid literally anything.
I'm just saying, it's like I'm super like live and let live. Like you do
No, of
you.
course, yeah.
You can do whatever you want. You can be Christian or Jewish or
Just miss me with that bullshit.
yeah, but like vegan, it's just like, but it's like the same rules of vegan is like, just don't fucking talk about it all the time.
Yeah, Fight Club and veganism have the same rules.
Mm-hmm.
Don't talk about it. Unless you're at like an AA meeting for vegans. It's like, I just need to share it.
Yeah, and that's what we were talking about earlier. Not earlier, but like in another podcast, it was how religions are like, the one thing you have to do is like share the word of God, like, which is just basically just marketing, you know?
That's what Mormons do.
Yeah. I saw a few Mormons on their mission a few days ago on their bikes.
I see them all the time.
Yeah.
Can't they give you like cars?
No, they cannot get cars. It's
I thought they could get cars and they would be paid through by like the Mormon church. I thought I saw something like that.
I don't know. I just know they're not allowed to use technology, which I remember arguing like bikes are definitely technology.
Yeah, it's very rudimentary art.
Yeah, they should definitely not be riding bikes if you're trying to avoid technology, because those gear systems on those bikes are not
It's not natural.
are not before the 19th century for sure.
Yeah.
So if you're using really just any bike, but especially like a mountain bike with the multi-gear
6
system,
gears.
yeah, anything with gears on a bike, that's definitely not
28 speeds.
That's definitely not technology.
No.
Plus, you know, the invention of the wheel is like the first thing a man created or whatever. It's definitely technology. So you know, stick to walking if you really love God. That's what I
Just
say.
can't wear shoes. That's tech.
Yeah, so are clothes. Clothes are definitely tech. Well, it's definitely like cavemen and women covered themselves. So I guess I'll give you a pass on the
With
clothes, but
leaves.
no ties. Ties are definitely
Technology.
ties are technology because you need to
some
tie the
in
knot.
there.
You got to learn how to tie a knot.
You-
I just
Use rope.
show up in a fucking potato sack. I'll talk to you about God if you show up in a potato sack. If you're just like, is the man home? I am the man of the house. You want to talk about God? Do you want to slip into something more comfortable?
Let's all get naked and talk about God.
Yeah, I'm nudist. If you step in my house, I'm the man of the house. If you respect my beliefs enough
If your wiener
to
is bigger
strip
than
naked,
mine, I will convert.
I will listen. I will strip naked with you. You come into my house. You tell me about God, and I will convert on the Bible or whatever it is you guys pray to. In Mormonism, is this like a Torah? It's like
I think it's all the Bible. I think like
No, I think
that's
it's
the Bible.
I think it's roughly
Christianity and
based off
Catholicism
the
is the Bible.
Torah.
Well, that's Judaism.
Yeah, I know, but Mormonism is like they're all really
You're talking to the wrong guy for asking questions about religion.
they're
dude.
all really closely related in
Burn
some
it
way.
all.
Okay. Anyway, that's that. I gotta go ways after this.
I just got a fucking, like I strained a muscle, literally doing nothing right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll wait for you to get back to actually explain this point, but and it's more questions. It's basically just about pain.
Pain.
So I'll let you sit on that.
Let's talk about Will Smith and the pain meme.
Okay, sure. So, I don't know if it's because of my diet or something, but I'll just be doing something minor. I'll sneeze, and sometimes it'll hurt. Like I'll strain a muscle, but it'll feel like my muscle gets super tight and it doesn't relax. So, like if I overextend, if I'm reaching and I go farther than I'm supposed to, it'll hurt my shoulder, which ideally that's a hyperextension. But I was just sitting here, and now my right shoulder and my oblique hurts. I literally haven't done anything, and stretching it barely helps. What helps the most is if I just sit there and do nothing, which is kind of odd, because if you strain a muscle or have any sort of muscle injury, generally stretching helps, and at least it's supposed to help. Granted, I'm not a kinesiologist. I don't know how the body works or muscle systems, how they interact. I don't know. But, yeah, it's something going on. There's literally right now, my right side is sore for no reason. It just hurts. I didn't do anything. I didn't hyperextend. I didn't overextend. I think I just need to stretch more or just be more active. I don't know. So, do you know what a canoe is, correct?
Me?
Yes.
I know what a canoe is, yes.
Okay, so Alec knows what a canoe is. Do you know what an outrigger boat is?
It sounds familiar. Is it also Native American?
No.
Then I do not know about it.
So,
Rather, I'm thinking of the wrong thing.
do you know the bone structure of your foot?
I'm guessing it's like a fish or a boat or whatever. Canoe?
Well, mainly the main system of your foot and your pinky toe. Do you know without your pinky toe you lose almost all balance?
Mm-hmm.
Because your foot shares almost the exact same structure as an outrigger boat. And an outrigger boat is essentially a canoe connected to a separate little kind of sort of, it's not used for balance, but it's like a little extra canoe that isn't like a canoe. It's a lot smaller. I'll show you a picture because that's the easiest way to describe it.
Should we put a picture up for the audience as well?
I'm not going to fucking do that.
If we remember.
I have a lot of shit to edit on this one.
Why?
Because we have that whole, we didn't tell them, but
Well, let's just if it happens, it happens. Because I think there's a good chance it's not going to go well.
Well, we're going to try and do something at the end of this episode, so.
But it's probably not going to go well.
If you've made it this far, stay till the end, or just skip to the end too, I don't care. So an outrigger boat is a boat with a little thing to stabilize it.
So that outrigger is our pinky toe.
Yes. Well, the whole thing is called an outrigger. So I've been having a lot of pain in my left foot recently, around that same area. And it's actually the most common break in foot breaks is the pinky, like the pinky side.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's like it's basically the big toe side and the pinky toe side get all the stresses. And it's most common on the pinky toe side because it's smaller. So your stabilizer gets broken, and then you can never walk again, at least without the same kind of functions.
Nice.
Canoes.
Let's.
I used to call them waka canoes because I knew...
Waka canoes?
Waka. Well, a waka.
Waka.
Waka, W-A-K-A. A waka is also a different word for canoe. You can call a canoe, or you can call it a waka if you want to be traditional.
Did you learn that from your Indian friend?
I learned that from fucking RuneScape, dude.
Oh. Cool.
And because I know about the foot structure because in my Algebra 2 class, I forgot his name. He was the fat teacher. He was the piece of shit. He was cool. He had a son that went there. What's his name? He had.
Was he also married to the fat girl?
His wife taught there. Taught AP.
Yeah, she was fat too,
AP
right?
Marine Bio. Yeah.
I know who you're talking of.
Yeah.
I don't know their name.
If you went to Westlake High
All
School,
my warriors out there.
please help. Algebra 2 teacher, Marine Bio teacher. They were overweight. They had a bun.
Everyone loved them.
Ronick.
Yep, that's it.
Um,
Mr. and Mrs. Ronick.
Yep. Because he was talking about someone who broke their foot, and he drew out like the foot, and he drew the little part and the big part, and I was like, that's just like RuneScape. When you cut down a tree to get, it's like a very unused spot for transportation. You cut down a tree, and you're like, I can go to this place, or that place. And then based on your wood cutting level, you can create different canoes to go farther. And one of them was a waka canoe. They just called it was a waka canoe. And I was like, oh, it looks just like that. So that I called it a waka. But a waka is just a name for a canoe, a regular ass canoe. So I had to actually figure out today. It's called an outrigger boat.
Well, it's called both, right? You said it's just.
Well, a waka is just a canoe. And a
But
canoe
like,
is a canoe.
what's the origin of it? Is it like Native American? Is it
Probably Pacific Islander.
Pacific Islander?
Waka sounds very Pacific Islander.
Yeah.
And then outrigger boat is
Be
just
American as fuck.
I don't know. It's the canoe with the thing on the side, or you can have a double outrigger where it's on both sides.
Mhm.
Those are used for fucking speed racing.
That and fucking tackling those huge ass waves.
Yeah.
Well, now I know.
Now you know about
And
boats.
now you know what a outrigger and a waka is.
I also saw something super interesting. I was on Facebook and I saw are you like it's an older video of he's Don Cheadle and he's playing Captain Planet. Do you know that video?
I don't.
So there's a Funny or Die video where it's like a Captain Planet parody where Don Cheadle is Captain Planet and he's like killing everyone, turning them into trees.
Nice.
And he's like, Captain Planet, motherfucker.
Sounds right.
And one of the dudes in this video, his name is Efren Ramirez. And if you don't know who that is, I suggest you look him up because as soon as you type in his name, you'll know exactly who this motherfucker is. Efren Ramirez is the same dude who plays Pedro in Napoleon Dynamite.
Nice.
You know who that is. Everyone knows who that is. And if you don't, sorry. You need some white culture in you.
Damn. That's my pickup line to black women.
Nice.
Have you ever had some white culture inside of you?
Yeah, it's going to taste like nothing.
It's going to taste like coconut milk.
But I also learned, I did some research today as well about Efren Ramirez, is that he's also a fucking DJ.
Nice.
And he always starts his sets by saying, you voted for Pedro. And here's what you get. He's an electro house DJ.
That's sick as fuck, actually.
Yeah, the last thing I believe he did, at least that I could find on YouTube, was from 2011. So I don't know if he's still DJing, but, Efren.
I mean, when you're Pedro
Keep
from
it up.
Napoleon Dynamite,
That's all you are.
you're really just limitless, you know?
Yeah, that's why I feel bad for fucking John Heater, because everything he is just Napoleon Dynamite.
Goofy ass boy now.
Yep.
I saw him in one movie. I forgot what it was. I remember really liking it. It was like he pays for like this little brother program where he like helps like foster kids like hang out. Like he's like their big brother and they're their little brother. And basically he starts feeling like inadequate, so he starts signing up for these classes about like how to be a man. And the guy who runs the classes is the same guy from Mr. Woodcock. It's a really good movie. If I remember the name ever, I'll mention it. But it probably won't be until next podcasting because that's how my memory works. It'll just happen in 3 or 4 podcasts down the line.
Yeah, I mean, I'd hate to be like one of those actors who did this
Pigeonholed.
one role, and now that's the only thing you can do. Like,
but here's the thing, though, too. Like, that's also kind of a good thing because that means how big the movie was. Everyone knows Napoleon Dynamite.
yes, but I wouldn't want to be only known for that. Like the same dude, Efren Ramirez, Pedro, is that little fucking. He's not little. He's that fucking an employee of the month, the Mexican sidekick.
It was,
And he's
I love him though.
Yeah.
He's so good at that role.
just
Like that's the thing though too. Like
That's
Tom Cruise is built for those spy roles. It just works for his face and his what he's got
and
figured
he's
out.
like 5'7",
Yeah, and he's just
fucking a tiny man.
it just works. That reminds me though. I saw a movie. I watched a movie. It was called Palm Springs, on Hulu
Trash City.
or Netflix. Either way, it was with Andy Samberg and one of the girls who was a star in one of the Black Mirror episodes. It was pretty fucking cool. Really funny movie. The first thing I saw of Andy Samberg. Are there speakers on?
No,
Okay. I just heard something like delaying or echoing. Anyway.
I didn't hear shit.
Basically, first thing I saw him in without daddy issues. But I think it was also a date movie too, so that was kind of weird to watch that alone.
Made you feel real sad.
Made me feel super, dude. If you ever want to feel more alone, watch a goddamn romantic comedy alone in your room.
In your underwear.
Yeah, bro. I was eating ice cream and everything. It was like the perfect sad bitch moment.
Of course.
It was the perfect sad bitch moment.
What the fuck, man?
I can't find happiness. I never will.
What is happiness?
For me,
Just in general.
I think it's a chemical balance that I'll never achieve in my brain.
Okay, Einstein.
Tell me I'm wrong. Like, you've woken up and you just felt like a brand new day and a brand new person. You were just happy.
Yeah, we're in a clean studio.
Yeah, I mean, like, but that feeling, but always. You know what I'm saying? Like, just to always be
Yeah, I can't relate.
peaking. That's my fucking point. I'll never be able to relate to that either.
There are normal, human beings that are functioning adults that wake up every day and it's like, this is a good ass day.
Yeah. Plenty of them out there. Not me.
How?
They have their routine, man. They wake up, they make their coffee. We were just talking about routines and like garages.
Yeah.
We were just talking about people who are like, yo, what do you do if you park your car in your garage because you have your shit together?
Yes.
Like if you have no like storage junk in your garage and you use it to park your car, what's the secret to life? Because you figured it out.
Yeah. Drive through your fucking neighborhood, and if people have their garages open, look inside and see if they're used for storage or if they're housing a vehicle.
I'll go ahead and take it a step farther. If the garage is open, if their windows are open, just take a peek in, see what's going on.
Yeah, you're walking by.
Howdy, neighbor. What kind of TV you got? Just wondering.
Yeah, I'm not going to break in later because my TV's better than yours.
Yeah.
But, like, you know, it's nice to fucking George Lopez had that joke where
George
like,
Lopez's bit was his new special is
when
hilarious.
Mexicans went trick-or-treating, they go trick-or-treating for life. And they don't even do it for candy.
He's
They do it to
40 or
look in
50.
other people's houses.
Yeah. It was the fucking,
It's like,
what's he do? Hey, you got any work for us, pal?
oh, who the fuck needs 5 lamps in one room?
Yeah, Jesus, yeah. Man, that was a good special for sure.
It was. Yeah, he's definitely redeemed himself.
It definitely took a more classical stand-up comedy kind of route, which is what I think he needed to do. So
You can't just appeal to the Latino community.
I mean, no one can just appeal to one community.
Like all of his his shit is specifically like, oh, if you're not Mexican, you won't understand.
Yeah, but I mean, like if you ever close yourself off to anything, it's great because like you want to support your community, but it's like you can always support your community by other things. Like just being famous from that community is probably enough, because people can look up to you and aspire to be you and see what you've accomplished and feel inspired to go get it themselves. Like there's more than one way to inspire a community than exclusively doing content for that community.
The day George Lopez George Lopez dies is going to be a very sad day.
It'd be a really big candlelit vigil.
There's going to be a lot of George Lopez show on TV.
Yeah.
We're going to hear Lowrider a lot.
I just hope people stop dying and coming out as rapists later. That's been a...
Who has that happened to? Who has died and been outed as a rapist?
I mean, I can't think of them now, but it's like...
I don't think that's happened.
There's,
People are just getting outed now while they're alive.
there was some guy in Britain. I know this sounds so whack.
Okay. This
was
random
like-
dude, Tom.
It was like basically, you know how we had like Mr. Rogers in the Neighborhood kind of TV show growing up?
Yeah.
Imagine Britain's Mr. Rogers, but he...
Oh, I fuck off.
Oi, cunts! The trolley! Basically, imagine that, but essentially, when he died,
He touched people?
yeah, basically people started coming out being like, yo, this guy, like, touched me. And everyone who was, like, coming out was, like, 40 because they were, like, diddled as kids. And then they came out, and then, like, all the evidence was just like, all right, well, like, fucking... They had, like, a statue of him. They're like, well, let's tear down the statue.
That's why you don't wait until they're dead. But
Oh, Bill Cosby. Bill Cosby was...
he's not fucking dead, though.
I mean, 1 foot in the grave.
He's just in jail, I think.
But basically, it's
something.
like... And look, I'm not defending Bill Cosby or Michael Jackson. I think Michael Jackson's another great example.
Yeah, we don't know about that.
But like it's one of those things where it's like someone gets really famous and then it's like they rape kids. I guess I shouldn't be saying I hope they don't die and then become outed as rapists. I hope people just stop raping, I guess is what I should say.
Keep your hands to yourself.
Yeah. First grade
It's
rules.
not that hard.
Didn't think I'd have to write that one down for you.
If someone says no, okay. It's okay to say no. Really, what we need to dismantle first is toxic masculinity.
How would we dismantle that?
Well, I don't know. It's very hard to dismantle because
I have a very obscure definition of it because I keep hearing toxic masculinity differently from different women.
well, because
Women keep telling me what toxic masculinity is.
because it's a whole concept. It's not like it's not
Enlighten me.
It's not one thing you can define. It's like a whole. It's like
Umbrella,
it's an
Ella,
umbrella term.
Ella, get back together, umbrella, Ella,
No,
Ella.
that's
It's a mashup.
2 songs. So like, I'm sure you've heard that women are sometimes afraid to reject men because of their reaction they might receive. And
I've heard the opposite.
Some
but go
women
ahead.
have actually been killed by men who they did reject,
Oh,
like
okay.
in a bar or a public place. Like this dude hit on a woman. She said no. He said, why not? I'm a perfectly good mate.
Murders her.
Yeah, and then waits until she leaves, follows her,
That dude's a psychopath.
and kills her. That's happened. It happens quite frequently, actually.
What?
Yeah.
That sounds crazy. I mean,
It happens a lot.
so how do we... Okay, so you're essentially proposing to, like...
It starts with
tackle
youth.
the issue of toxic masculinity, but so far the definition you've given me is toxic masculinity is following a girl home who's rejected you and murdering her.
That's one part of it.
That is not how I've ever understood it.
Not everyone obviously
Never have understood
portrays
it.
that, but I mean,
Obviously, those
it's
guys are
a-
psychopaths.
it's a part of. It falls under the umbrella. Ella.
That's a big fucking umbrella, man.
It is a
'Cause-
very big umbrella. The
All
problem is men. First off, that is men. The only way to fix it is with youth, raising your kids right. And granted, what is the right way to raise your kids? Okay, well then you gotta. What's right from wrong? Okay, well what's...
Well, did we look into that? What we should do is make it like...
When I have a kid, I'm gonna dump him off in the forest with a knife and a box of matches. If he makes it back, he's my son. If not, fuck him.
And he wasn't my kid.
No, I would never do that.
But we would need to... Look, man, and that's the thing, too. Like,
We need a cultural reset. Where's the nuke button? Hit it.
we're getting nuked right now. Are you kidding me?
No, we're not. Just reset.
We would have to look so deeply into all that. Like, we could never solve that. We'd have to look so deeply into that one case and then every case like it. and then put that
Sort
in
of.
a box over here, and then understand how other people understand toxic masculinity, put that in a box, and we'd have to just organize all these fucking garbage things that happened.
Also,
That would take so much work.
men putting other men down for showing emotion is toxic masculinity.
That's what I've always thought toxic masculinity was.
That's part of it. There's a lot to it. It's a lot to it. It's like it's the
Look,
same
man, you
thing.
need to categorize it more, because there's obviously a fringe of someone on the far left or far right murdering someone following their.
Well, of course,
That's psycho behavior.
there's always going
bar
to be
none.
extremes in any sort of classification. It's the same thing as like.
But you could also just call that person an incel. Maybe he just wasn't having sex ever,
And you know-
he finally snapped.
And you know what being an incel is? Toxic masculinity.
I don't know how any of those form a pattern.
So
Those
toxic masculinity is the umbrella, and everything underneath it that is negative, or not sort of negative, but like sort of I'm a man, I deserve this, or because I am a dude, I'm entitled to this, falls under toxic masculinity. I am a.
It just sounds like psychos, dude. It needs to be more well defined.
It can't be.
It can be.
Define it.
I'm not going to. It's not my bid. It's not my table.
Okay,
I'm just saying.
Therefore, it can't be.
But how?
If you
But
say
how
it
do you
can-
expect me to give a shit? How do you expect me to sit down and give a shit on your stories? Like, obviously, a woman dying is tragic, but like,
Multiple.
how
just
multiple
one.
women dying is tragic. But how can you sit me down and be like, calling your friends gay for crying is toxic masculinity? Yes, that's what I've always thought it was. And also, you can't, like, obviously you can't follow people home and kill them. But
If
if you followed someone home and kill them, that's also toxic masculinity. Those
Yeah.
two don't fit in the same box in my world.
sure, then your world needs to change, and you're part of the problem.
I don't think so.
Okay, then we'll leave it at that.
Fair enough.
You have anything else?
I've got nothing. The world is crazy. People are stupid. Who the fuck put anyone in charge, and who the fuck wants to be in charge?
Yeah.
What's going on? I just want to barbecue and just...
Well, you need to stop eating red meat.
I know.
Fun
This could all be so easy.
Fun fact: he didn't know what red meat was until yesterday.
True facts.
So,
Big true facts.
you're getting opinions from this guy.
Look, no one, and I repeat this for the jillionth time.
That's not a
You
number.
you should not be coming to the Two Dudes Drinking Beer podcast looking for political opinions. Nothing we say is accurate. It's literally just two dudes drinking beer,
Our news is accurate.
talking shit, and honestly, sometimes making fun of things and people we shouldn't.
That's our tagline.
That's that's a long ass tagline, but I think anyone should be able to watch this show. But it is one of those things where, like, don't take it seriously. I'm not taking this shit seriously.
You haven't been. That's why our audio's been fucked up.
Clearly, after all this time. But yeah, I don't know, man. Just look, there's only so many people I can apologize to for other people's actions.
We're not asking. I say we. No.
We're not asking you to apologize. We
Nope.
just want you to understand the definition of toxic masculinity is a gigantic umbrella. And you need to remember every little bit of it.
The fact that you're getting upset about it is
'cause I have high
also
blood pressure.
part of the problem.
Look, man, everything stresses me out right now. The world's crazy.
It's been crazy.
And it's weird to have to sit down and talk about what people call toxic masculinity. I've had girls come up to me and be like, "It's not fair for you." And I was like, "What?" And they're like, "Yeah, it's just not fair." And I was like, "I never asked for this." And then they're like, "Okay, but like we know, and that's the issue is like you probably just want to cry sometimes," which, yeah, I do, but that's not the point. The point is, two random people I work with at one point came up to me being like, "It's not fair for men and this and that." And it's like, yo, I don't need you to show me how noble you are by saying how hard I have it. You don't know a damn thing about me. Like, I was bugged by it. Like, stay out of my business. And that's the whole thing. Like, I let you live, you let me live. So that's why I'm bugged. It's like a core principle for me. It's more of just like, yo, I don't tell you how to run your shit. You don't tell me how to run mine. We're cool. And I just feel like the last few, say, weeks, years, however long you want to take it back to, it's always just been stuff online saying you need to call people by this respective name. You need to do this when interacting with this respective person. You need to curtsy meekly at this respective person. And it's like, yo, I'm just sick of people saying do this and like shouting at me online through Twitter and Instagram, and I'm just,
who the fuck do you interact with on Twitter?
nobody, and I'm still getting yelled at is the point. I don't talk to anybody on Twitter, and oh man.
So I think you're fabricating that part of the story.
No, I need to detox from social media and probably a few other things.
Deactivate your accounts.
I know I just reactivate them. I just need to get off them for a
You're
little
that
bit.
bored? You need to quit your PlayStation 2, that's what.
I need to quit social media and only play PlayStation. Are you kidding?
No, your PlayStation's part of the problem.
I don't think so.
That's fucked up your sleep. Xbox didn't do that.
Did the PlayStation fuck up my sleep, or did I fuck up my sleep?
The PlayStation.
Nah.
It enabled you. Did the heroin kill him, or did he kill him?
That's the point.
Did he kill himself? It's always the item.
Yo, I'm fucking.
Thank you guys for
mentally
watching.
fatigued.
Thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for being here. Please share the podcast if you enjoyed it. If you didn't, fuck you. Don't watch it anymore.
We don't want you.
We've been doing this
in all your male sympathy.
We've been doing this for 17 episodes
Whoop,
now.
whoop.
That's almost 9 weeks. That's the start of the 9th week. Thank you guys for being here so much. It means a lot. Just 2 dudes drinking beer. It's time for dinner.
Bye.